a decently sleazy tavern that is like, it's not a nice establishment, but it's not the worst establishment.
It's going whoring.
Yep.
You immediately walk upon the tavern simply known as the Salty Sea Urchin.
Can I just try sending him a gun?
Okay, so in order to not drag this out, can I just find someone who like has a heavy bag of money and is also drunk as fuck?
There are a few such people, yes.
And offer my services, shall we say?
You can do that. Sadly, I can't stop you from being a slut.
Lovely lady, waiting for us.
So yeah, I'll leave it up to you how much they're paying. Essentially, like Alyssia will just go with what something seems like a reasonable price. Like she's not trying to like maximize the profits. She's just trying to get enough money to register the group.
I'm gonna say that you can, shall we say, squeeze out about 10 gold pieces.
That's a good pun. I like it. Right, so yeah, Alyssia shows up at the guild hall like an hour later or something, with 10 gold pieces.
Actually, considering how drunk he was, probably 15 minutes.
Oh, okay, kick.
And with 10 gold pieces and a deep flush.
By the end, they were just slipping out of her because she couldn't hold stuff. So many gold pieces.
Alyssia, roll me for sexual diseases.
Well, of course. What do I roll?
Constitution.
Sure.
Constitution
honestly,
save.
We already know your disease, Alyssia, and it
It's
can't
being
be
a
cured,
slut.
so...
Kick. No, I mean she basically just figures about, well, given enough time, hopefully Lucretia can fix it. Hopefully. Well, she's already been cursed also by some fucking dragon.
Hopefully that I can
Right.
fix your SPV.
So what are you guys doing around the cove?
Can I sell that scrap gun or?
Not selling the
You
gun.
can.
Why not? It's
Can
a
I-
bunch of scrap. What
Can
the
I see
fuck?
if I can
It's
find
with you in a
out...
gun.
Give it to Anne-Marie, she might better do something.
Oh my
It's all that
God.
thing made out of
Can I
chest.
Iris,
see
as you go to
if
the
I can
blacksmith and
find-
try to sell the gun, he's gonna say, I guess I can give you a silver piece for this, lass. That okay with you?
No.
That's so not worth it. No offense. Guess we're taking back
What?
for study.
Silver piece not good enough for you? Bah.
She says it's like
Bah.
I miss my compound. I miss
mean,
all my money.
Hey,
my imaginary
Can I
money.
see if I can
Never
find
got to use
some
it.
Trying to say
clothes?
sell a high-tech, like, albeit broken piece of equipment to a bunch of pirates in the ass end of nowhere.
To be fair, Iris is right. That thing is fucking worthless now. It's literally scrap.
Yeah, of course. That doesn't mean it can't be reversed in a year later.
Can I see if I can find some more clothes?
Well, you can buy more clothes.
No, can I find it?
No dice.
Okay.
Fine, kick.
I'm just...
Already got a belt.
Yeah, I'm
Why
just...
can't you be happy?
Unless you wanna turn up the charm a little bit, maybe
know what?
somebody will buy you something nice.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna sit down and play my flute.
For doing that, roll me performance.
Kick.
Oy.
Oh,
19.
Damn. What the fuck?
Iris is the best flute player.
Iris, as you're playing, you see some adventurers actually stop to listen to you for a while. Some of them drop you a few copper pieces and move on their way. One of them actually stops, however. You see that he is pretty well equipped. He's got a huge bastard sword on his back, a nice cape covering most of it. He's got a few heavy pouches with alchemy equipment on it. And he seems to be wearing some kind of, it's not scale mail, but it seems to be some kind of intricate design that's not something that you've seen on the continent in Netherlands before. It seems to be of a very elegant but sturdy design. He just listens to you for a while with his hands crossed. He then rustles up his gold to you a little bit and goes, Not bad, lass, not bad. But you still need to work on your high pitch note. And as he says that, he drops you a silver piece and walks past.
She looks towards him and is like, okay, I guess he did give me money, but rude.
At the end of the day, what you see that you have been collecting at your feet, you find 4 copper pieces and 1 silver piece. However, the silver piece seems to be weird. It seems almost like there's some kind of thing that has been carved into it, like there's some kind of symbol.
That's weird. Oh, I probably sell a scrap gun. If we really need high tech, we got flipping the AI in the tech city if we ever want to get that
So
stuff.
in that case, you have normal silver piece, a couple
And a
of
strange
copper
silver
pieces,
piece.
and a very strange marked silver piece.
I'm gonna look it over. Like,
From what you can
recognize
tell,
it?
the mark doesn't seem to be standard. This was definitely carved by somebody. Somebody who's actually really good at this. It seems to be intricate little symbol that you've actually seen around the Cove. Some of the taverns actually have it. Even though they're different owners and have different names, they all seem to have this small mark on them to indicate that in some way they are different than the others.
Should bring it back to the others and ask.
Mean anything to me?
I'll probably go and ask for Guild Lady then.
Okay then. She noticed you walking back in and says, "Oh, hello. We meet again. So, are you ready to get registered?"
No, I was looking for a bit of information actually.
Yes,
Was
of
wondering
course.
what-
We at the guild pride ourselves for providing any and all information for would-be adventurers and people that stay here.
I was just wondering what this is, she says as she presents the coin, still holding it tightly.
Ah, yes. She lets out a
Silver
sigh.
piece.
I do wish they would stop doing that. It just ruins the silver. Is there really a need for this? Well, you've probably noticed that mark around town. Those are some of the older, shall we say, adventurers that first kickstarted the guild. They run their own businesses here now that they're too old to go out in the field and do work. So they kind of settled on this symbol as a badge of pride, if you will, as in, you know, they're the old dogs that started all of this and they're getting a bit too big for their britches, really, thinking that everybody needs to respect them and all that stuff. They tend to mark their gold from time to time, so, you know, they can stand out. Honestly, it's really bothersome. But we cannot deny their contribution to the cause. A good 20 or so years ago, this was literally just a huge open cave. There was no harbor, there was no permanent housing, there was nothing. It's thanks to their efforts that we now have the Hunter's Cove and everything that you see around us.
I see. Oh, thanks for the information.
Of course. I will be happy to answer any and all questions related to, well, the guild. And everything around it.
She smiles and nods to her before going back to the group, and I'm gonna basically say, should we use the coppers that I gained to get some basic clothing?
See what you can do for you and Lou.
That's easy. Normal clothing is only worth 2 coppers.
Yep. You can easily get some basic clothes so you don't stand out.
So after all that, I should have how many coppers left in 1 silver? And 2 silver?
10 copper and 1 silver.
Yeah. Alright. See?
You did get 4 coppers and a silver, plus the strange silver mark piece. So in total, 2 silver pieces and 4 copper pieces.
Okay,
Clothes,
so
please.
so I'd have around about 96 left after I get us Cove, so it's 1
10,
old
10
silver point.
copper is 1 silver. 10 silver is 1 gold.
Oh wait, it's in tens, is it? I'm going
Yeah,
to
it's
Pathfinder, I
tens.
think. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Pathfinder is retarded.
Yeah, I'm going to Pathfinder, sorry. So that's 6 copper and 1 old silver. Okay, cool.
Warhammer Fantasy also has like this fucking cancer way of counting money.
That's because Warhammer Fantasy uses old English money.
Yes.
So we
Exactly
all
my
have
point.
basic clothing now.
Yay!
Wait, who all has basic clothing?
Everybody.
Oh. Well, in that case, you're probably gonna stand her with Alyssia's clothes when she walks back into the guild hall.
Yeah.
Somehow having acquired 10 gold. She offers no explanation.
Somehow. We all know what
I'm
she
pretty
did.
sure that nobody wants to know how she got that money.
Selling kisses.
Hand holding.
So are you guys going to register then?
Yep, let's go register.
Well, Alicia's gonna throw off on the clothes first because, you know.
Right, after you guys get dressed,
Decency.
the guild assistant approaches you and says that will be 2 gold if you wish to register together as a group.
Alicia just looks at the rest of them for
give you a nod.
confirmation.
I nod as well.
An impatient nod at this point.
I'm assuming yours already said as a group, so yeah. Well, yes, Alicia fishes out 2 gold pieces and gives them to the nice lady.
Very well, this will only take a few minutes, if you just wait over here for a sec. She starts going through your paperwork. She asks you for names and other stuff, what are basically things that you're good at, what you're bad at, so there's a basic understanding of, you know, what you would be a fitting match for the different jobs, since there seems to be hunting, there seems to be scouting, there seems to be more manual work around here, there seems to be extermination, material gathering, there's all sorts of different jobs.
I'm not good at
as soon
anything
as-
right now.
As soon as you guys are well and registered, she says, very well, this is your official seal, and she gives each one of you a small card with your basic information that you're affiliated with the guild and that you're part and registered of a certain group, which if you want you can name for yourselves. Right, so would
They're
you
pretty
wish,
reckless, no.
for me to explain some basic things related to the jobs you can partake, or would you like to find that out on your own?
Basic information can be good.
The first thing Horatius wants to find out is how much is it to get passage on a ship back to the mainland?
Well, considering our last chain of supply was here 3 days ago, the next ship that will arrive here is in, let's see, 11 days. We get supplies brought here twice a month. You'll have to wait for them to arrive, and they'll probably be willing to take you off the island for the right price.
And what's the right price?
Well, I wouldn't know that. You would have to speak with the ship's captain.
That shouldn't be too difficult to manage. I also actually have another question that is not directly related to the jobs. Any recommendation for a blacksmithing town that can provide basic but durable equipment?
Well, there are quite a few. While I cannot give you any recommendation, I can point you out to the, well, eastern part of the Cove, where most of the blacksmiths do their work. It would be unethical for me to personally send you to anyone. Yes, well, if you look over here, she takes out some paperwork. We tend to grade our jobs based on difficulty and requirements, all the way from S down to F. Wait, actually to G. All the way from S to G. Depending on the difficulty, the pay is, of course, different. We also grade our guild members the same way. We try to, well, give promotions only to people who have actually earned them, because a failed job would be, well, bad reputation for the guild. Currently, since you have just registered with us, you are rank G and you are considered trainees. But since it is the lowest rank, it's very easy to overcome. I'm sure that if you complete a few easy tasks, you will be able to level up your rank and accept far difficult tasks. So good luck.
Anyone I can challenge for the highest rank and skip all of this?
She frowns at you and just sighs. She mumbles on her breath, every fucking time, I swear. She then points towards her nose and fixes her glasses a little bit before continuing. I'm sorry, but we have no such traditions at the guild. Everybody must prove their worth by completing tasks. If we're to hand out ranks willy-nilly, then the system might as well not exist. Like I said, if people decide to undertake jobs that are way past their abilities and fail, that would reflect badly on us as employers.
But one can take on jobs that are slightly above their level, correct?
If you are a rank G adventurer, you can only partake into rank G jobs. However, there are, as you mentioned, exceptions. For instance, if there is some kind of event that would govern the difficulty to be raised beyond what is normal. For instance, an E rank job would be considered something along the lines of a Cove crisis. Let's say this place tends to get attacked from time to time by some cavern creatures who, well, don't like us being here. If the entire Cove is in danger, then we can issue a E rank job that anybody here can take part in, including G rank adventurers such as yourselves.
So basically during all hands on deck events such as the Cove getting attacked.
Exactly. Those are the exceptions, but otherwise you should stick to jobs that, well, relate to your rank. Now then, if you are looking for a place to stay, there's quite a few taverns around town, but she just says in a rather, well, diplomatic manner, I'm assuming that since you are new, you are probably low on funds. Might I recommend the south part of town? The taverns there are a bit more on the reasonable side. By the way, you instinctively realize, Alyssia, that staying in a good tavern here is basically like a certain
Getting ripped
dominance.
off.
If you're staying at a good expensive tavern, that means that you're a well-accomplished and powerful adventurer. So that's basically how they prove their worth. Like, literally
True.
staying at a better tavern.
Might I ask if you can point us in the direction of a tavern that is reasonably priced and not decent and is a decent lodging, not the best and not the worst.
Well, if you're looking something about in the middle, there are some taverns in the eastern part of town that would be willing to put up 50 gold a night.
I see. Very well. Well, we're going to have to make some money in order to pay our first night, then, I suppose.
It is getting rather late. Like when you enter the Cove, it was already in the afternoon. So
Yes, we'll just sleep out for one of the things.
Well, can we even find somewhere to spend a night that won't cost more than 8 gold?
they did say in the south. She did say in the south end of town are the taverns that provide a more, shall we say, reasonable price.
Okay, fair enough.
Right, so you guys eventually start heading towards the southern end of town, and a particular tavern strikes your fancy after walking and talking around. The Sugar Ray, there we go. The Sugar Ray, there we go. That'll do. And after a quick talk, the guy says, he says, okay, I'll set you up for one night, 8 gold, no food. That's it.
Shrug, just tosses the money onto the counter. Doesn't matter.
He takes the money and then returns to his normal duties. He did say no food, but you can stay on the floor and enjoy the company. And by company, I mean the people that are having fun playing all sorts of gambling games and, well, enjoying drinking the food and listening to the music.
Hey, Experta,
Yes?
is any of them playing Gwent?
Sure, why not? For the sake of it, some of them are actually playing Gwent.
you told me that the hazard game I should be able to play is Gwent, so
At any rate, you see that things are actually starting to get a little bit rowdy around you. The people seem to be, well, many of them are drunk, some of them are, well, shall we say, a bit excited. And when people get excited in taverns, usually things tend to get out of hand quickly. You see that the atmosphere is getting a bit tense, but everybody's trying to be civil about it still.
Alyssia
Spoiling for a fight.
has turned to the rest of them and is like, try to stay alongside one of the walls and out of the way, just in case there's a fight. Who
Yeah,
knows?
signals
Perhaps they will kill each other.
Hey, I know you. I saw you earlier. You see, drunkard approach you, Alyssia. He was he was in the company of the guy that you had some fun with. You stole his money, but something tells you this guy probably doesn't know about that because it would be embarrassing.
Wait,
Plus,
stole his money?
gold.
I assumed he paid me.
Oh, either way, it doesn't actually matter, so it's fine.
What the fuck? She's no
Stealing?
cheap
I'd
whore.
never do that. I'm a whore, not a thief.
I mean, it's like...
He approaches you and puts an arm around your shoulders. You can smell the alcohol in his breath. Hey, you're so scrawny. Why? How's about dinner? How's about a few drinks on me? We can have some fun, yeah?
Alyssia just gives him a wide smile. Oh yes, of course.
He looks very happy. Barkeep, food, drinks, yeah, let's have some fun, yeah.
Alyssia turns to
Oddly
the
enough, there seems to be quite a lot of food if you guys want to join Alyssia and the guy at the table.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna sit down and giving him just the look of I dare you to stop me. I'm gonna say I see you've met Alyssia.
I was gonna say that Alyssia was gonna just give them a wink over his shoulder as she sauntered off.
I sit
Yeah, I
down.
also sit down. Basically, he just wants to have a dinner with one girl and 2 more women and a man just sit next to her.
Oh, don't worry.
Well,
like,
to be fair, he didn't mind. Like, he literally said, yeah, sure, bring him along. I don't care. He's
Actually-
he wants to have fun.
no, like Alyssia is keeping him busy by like sitting in his lap, like sometimes feeding him some food, giggling at his bad jokes, just like the whole 9 yards.
Oh, gotcha. You don't even need to roll. Like, he's so happy about that. And he's so drunk that, fuck it, the word is awesome.
And she's also trying to get him absolutely fucking smashed, so that he will pass out before, you know, stuff.
He's super happy. And as the night rolls on, eventually the guys playing Gwent start getting more and more rowdy and angry because money is changing hands. They're playing for keeps after all. You're cheating, you son of a bitch, I know it! I'm not cheating! You're cheating, motherfucker, I just know it. There's no way you can pull that off twice in a row. It's statistically impossible. Wow, you know some big words, motherfucker. Shame you don't know how to fucking win! They're getting
Jesus.
more and more angry.
I don't even know what
Actually,
statistics mean, so that doesn't
Expert,
faze me.
Considering I'm actually proficient in playing Gwent, like, can I tell whether or not he's actually cheating or if he's just a really good player?
Oh yeah, he's cheating. And that guy
Check.
actually saw him, he just doesn't realize. See! I knew it! You're fucking cheating, you rat bastard! No! I'm using cards that didn't start in my hand. That's They start getting more and more rowdy. Eventually he slams his hands on the table and the drinks get start flying left and right. Some of the other tables get doused in cheap beer. Motherfucker! He then grabs his table and chucks the entire table and all the food towards the people playing Gwent and slams that into them. Everybody starts getting up and the atmosphere starts getting tense. Since this tavern seems to have special rules because apparently stuff like this is not uncommon. There have been a few bodyguards that pick up all the weapons on entry, so nobody is fucking armed. So you see that the guys are actually reaching out for forks and knives from the dinner plates, and the dinner plates are actually miniature shields. And everybody's getting ready to jump in. The barkeep who was behind the counter just stumbles out and says, "Oi! Motherfuckers, what you doing? You trying to start some shit in my tower? Not in this fucking establishment. I'll have
Oi,
you know
motherfucker,
that this
what
is..."
you doing?
And as soon as he's starting going off on his spiel, you see that a piece of hard stale bread is chucked at his head like a rock and slams into him. And then you see the barkeep just stand there quietly and then he lashes out, all of you are fucking dead!
He can't
reaches out
even speak
behind the
English
counter
now.
and grabs a massive bottle and then slams it into a nearby guy who was at the bar just drinking his drink very quietly. And then now that he has a weapon in hand, he jumps over the counter and everything explodes into a loud chaos scene as everybody starts brawling madly.
I'm going to my room.
And as this goes on, by the way, you see that the live musician that was there, somebody slips him a gold piece, and instead of running away, the guy just begins.
Aggressive guarding.
What the fuck? Hey,
And as
gold
this
piece is a gold
happens,
piece.
the entire establishment erupts into chaos as guys and tables and furniture and everything starts flying every which way. A guy is flung out the window, he breaks the window and pops out. He then outside fixes himself and jumps through another window, breaking it as he gets back inside. And then the bar fight the brawl continues and everything gets fucking destroyed left and right. And you guys are sadly smacked down in the middle of that shit.
Sadly, I've got a smile on my face. I've been waiting all day for this.
By the way, can I look
Beat the
around? Does
shit out of people
anybody
and
look
steal
like
their
they
money.
can fight?
We're heroic showdowning a bar fight?
What?
Oh
They're a
my
bunch
God.
of drunks.
Adventurers, drunks, and salty boys. Exhaustion unknown. Grit unknown. Special skills anything but the kitchen sink. Scurvy. Put it on my tab. The Prince Dickens.
What the fuck?
Weaknesses. Common sense. Okay then. I feel that it's really good that I literally just made a purified sign of Shayla, so I can actually do shit.
I'm gonna be
And thus
offended if we don't
brawl
go first.
begins.
I'm gonna be personally offended if we don't go first.
And as Adam pointed out, the strongest combatant always begins. So you guys begin.
Actually, is anyone attacking us currently?
Well, there's chaos around you, so it's a matter of time, really.
Oh yeah, by the way, the guy whose lap I was sitting in, what the fuck is he doing?
He is drunk, and somehow in his drunken state, turns out that nothing can hit him. He is the drunken master.
So hey,
Also, exposure, clash.
Okay?
who are you clashing with?
Everyone.
You know how this works? 3,
I am aware how
3,
One.
2, 1, go.
What?
What?
How much grit and we don't know how much grit and exhaustion they have.
Right,
No, but
this is
I've
what
been
happens.
waiting all day
Horatius
for
says,
this.
get up, you see around a rowdy bunch of guys behind you who are about to start causing trouble as they're jumping on their chairs, table, and grabbing silverware left and right. You just grab the table as they're trying to go swoosh on you, and you just lift the table with those guys on top. They start screaming like little girls, like, what the hell's going on? I'm too drunk for this shit. They're trying to balance, but they're too drunk. And you just grab the entire table with the people and chuck them towards the other end of the room, slamming them into another bunch of people and knocking them the fuck out. Right, that's Horatius. Who's next?
Clash. I don't even give a shit. I'm done with these heretics.
Right, 3, 2, 1, go. You see another table from the opposite side starting to get up, and they're starting to swoosh with the kitchen silverware and some bottles at you, Lucretia, and you're having none of that shit. You immediately sweep them and make a pile out of them. You then grab them and slam their faces into the table. You then take notes from your brother Horatius, and seeing as you've had enough of this shit, you just grab the entire table with the pile of bodies on top of it and hurl it towards the other end, and you smack them right into the bar. The bar gets crushed and the bottles behind it get slammed and alcohol is flying everywhere.
Jesus.
Right, who's next?
Alyssia, you
Alyssia
can go
or
next.
Iris?
Right. Yeah. So, quick question. On a scale from 1 to 10, like, what are these guys like fighting abilities like? Are they complete crap or like decent?
Well,
They're drunk as fuck.
most of them are drunk and they're fighting with knives and forks, dude. So I don't know. Take a
Right.
hint.
So, I mean, I'm nowhere near like Iris's level of like unarmed combatant, but like I seem to recall, what is his name? God damn it, Gordon giving me a few pointers. So I'm gonna mix
Yep.
those pointers with dirty fighting, such as elbow strikes and knees in the groin,
Gotcha.
and clash.
Well,
3,
my
2,
actual
1,
nigger.
go. You managed to overpower them. A few of the guys were trying to get towards you, and without standing up from your spot, you just reach out, boom, boom, poke, 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 poke. And as those guys are swirling around, not sure what's happening, the guy that whose lap you're sitting in is just flailing his arms around in a happy, drunken state, and the bottles that he's holding actually smash into the guys' heads, and you guys combo them together, and they end up crumbling on the floor. Iris, it's your move.
Ever seen Jackie Chan style fighting?
Yep.
Essentially, Iris is gonna stay connected to a chair. She's just like dodging, tripping people up over a bar, and like I'll use the overwhelm action, I guess, for that. Since I used to
Okay.
be unarmed, and I'll spend 3.
Nice. As you begin dancing around the chair and kicking every which way, break dancing all over the place, the guys are just flying off in different directions. One of them screaming, "Ah, she hit me in the epidermis! Ah! Ah, she hit me in my hair! The hair doesn't hurt, you dumb fuck!
I
Ah, it
slice his hair
hurts
off.
more!" They're flying every which way, the poor guys. The poor boys. And then it's their turn. And
Check.
they're going to do their most dangerous move right off the bat. Horatius, one of them stands in front of you, and then he bows in a rather grandiose gesture. He then suddenly snaps up, and when his foot finds your groin with all his strength as he hits you right in the family jewels, giving you the Prince Dickens.
He just
take-
kicked.
You take 2 levels of grit damage, but since you have no grit right now, you take 2 levels of exhaustion instead.
He just
Kick.
punched you. He just kicked you in the dick, dude. Are you
I
gonna
like-
He
I
take
like
that?
to
literally
believe-
just kicked you in the dick. He gave
I
you
like
the
to
Prince
believe
Dickens.
he does that. I just stand there, slowly look down at him. No, 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 no.
It's a fucking dragon!
More like an ancient wyvern.